In the Forest Bake kitchen today we're going to be making an orange and fig Madeira cake. It's a plain Madeira recipe with some dried figs and freshly squeezed orange juice and lemon juice and the zest. So first of all we have to soften the figs, and to do that we need to boil the figs in some freshly squeezed orange juice for about 5 minutes. Right, so here we go with my 5 figs, and I've got a little bit of pulp from the squeezed orange. I don't like to waste anything. And here I have lemon juice from 1 lemon. I've got the zest from 1 lemon. And I've got 100 grams of freshly squeezed orange juice. So now we're just going to put this on the boil, or let it simmer basically, for 5 to 10 minutes. And that will make the figs nice and soft, and they will absorb all the orange juice and give it a wonderful flavour for the cake. Okay, so while my orange and figs are simmering away, we're going to start with the bake. So just to go over the ingredients, I've got 175 grams of butter, 175 grams of white caster sugar, 3 eggs, and here I've got 2 types of flour. We've got 145 grams of self-raising flour and 125 grams of plain flour. And here I've got a pinch of salt. So I've just switched on the oven to 150 degrees centigrade, so that will warm up. And in the meantime, we're going to do the creaming method. So here I'm going to add the 175 grams of butter. Okay. And we've got 175 grams of caster sugar. So we're just going to let that cream. Okay, so now you can see that's nice and creamed. That back on, and I'm slowly going to just add in the eggs. There we go. You can do it one by one, or throw them all in together. As you can see, I've just thrown them all in together, and I'm just going to add a bit of flour for starters, and just so we can emulsify everything. Everything's slowly starting to get together now. Now I'm going to put in the rest of the flour. See, absolutely nothing difficult at all about this cake. We're just going to do that slowly. And you can see it's gradually bringing in all the flour and everything together. Just give it a quick whiz. Okay, that's fine. We don't want to overbeat it. And now I'm just going to have a look to see if my figs are ready, and then we're going to add those in as the next stage. Okay, as you can see, I've taken these off the boil now, and the figs are nice and soft, and I'm just putting them on this little chopping board here, or chopping mat I should say, and I'm just going to chop these up and then add them to the dough. And I'll let this orange cool to one side, because I'm going to add some of that to the dough as well to give it a nice orange flavour. Okay, so I just need to show you what I'm doing. I'm just cutting the little stalks off because they're quite hard still, even with the boiling, and they're not really great to eat. So I'm going to put those to one side and I'm going to discard them. So basically, all we're just going to do is chop up the cooked dried figs. It doesn't matter if it's a big mush, because it all blends into the dough quite nicely. So as you say, you can buy any decent dried figs from a supermarket, and they'll all do. They're all sort of fit for purpose. And as you can see, I'm just perhaps cutting them into smaller bits. So we have quite a lovely fig mush, and it's such a great combo with the freshly squeezed orange juice. So that's going to get, just going to pop that into the cake mix now. Right, back to the cake mix. So as you know, I've just chopped up the fig, and these are the stalks which I'm going to discard. Get rid of those, and we're just going to pop this into the cake mix. There we go. And we're going to whiz it around. So that's enough. Now, I really do like to do this. This is optional, but I put the orange juice that I cooked the figs in and a bit of the pulp that's been cooking in there as well. I'm just going to pop that into the cake. So there we go. And we're just going to give that a little bit of a whiz. Perfect. Now I'm going to fill the tin. Right, so this is ready to go into the oven at 150 degrees centigrade and roughly for about an hour, but I would say check it after about 40 minutes to 45 minutes, because most people's ovens are slightly different. You may need shorter than an hour, or you may need slightly longer. Okay, so while I've got the cake in the oven, I'm going to make the glaze that I'm going to pour over the cake. So we've got one grated orange. So we've got the zest of one orange, the juice of one orange, and just 30 grams of sugar. Right, so as you can see, I'm going to use the same pot that I used for the oranges and the fig. And now I'm going to make the glaze. So as I said, I've got just the zest of one orange, the freshly squeezed juice, and 30 grams of sugar. Now we're just going to give that a bit of a stir, and I'm going to let this simmer for a few minutes. I don't want it too high, else it will just boil dry or boil over. So we'll just let that do its thing, get it nice and thick, and then we'll pour it over the cake once the cake has cooled down. We finally got to the final stage of the orange and fig cake. And now it's come out the oven, it's cooled down, and I'm going to pour over the glaze that I made earlier on. Okay, so here we go. Here's the glaze I've made, and I did put in quite a bit of pulp as well, just because it just adds to the taste. This time my glaze went quite thick. Obviously, the longer you leave your sugar and orange juice to simmer, and the thicker it's going to get. So that's purely up to you, and I quite like it to be nice and thick because it gets a more of a shine, really. So it looks like jam, but it's not. It's just a lovely, lovely glaze. So this is quite nice. It's not too sweet a cake. And I know once you make it, your family and friends are just going to ask you to make it again and again. So there you go. My cake's going to be used for an afternoon tea. So there you can see, really, really tasty. Just got enough glaze on. Okay, thanks for watching my video on the orange and fig Madeira cake, and do have a go. It's ever so easy. You could substitute the orange and fig with different fruits. It's up to you. You can experiment. I'm going to try it with coconut and pineapple. That'll be a nice one to do. But yeah, do try the orange and fig Madeira cake. Your friends and family will want it over and over again. So thanks for watching. Boris Bake.